Good evening. I'm back, and thank you for tuning in to another live audio. This particular audio is a makeup live audio for Sunday, November the 4th, 2018. And this is none other than Aisha or Aisha, whichever you choose to call me. Jade is my nickname as well. That is me, none other than. And this evening, I will be talking about how to start something new late in your career and still protect your retirement. Okay, because as we know, there are a lot of, hopefully I'm saying it correctly, baby boomers, those that are later in life and they are interested in starting either a different work career or they are looking to start in a business. Either they have started it and something along the way they had to stop and now they are ready to come back and do a business, or they are just brand new and they're like, whew, I want to start a business. How do I go about it? So again, how to start something new late in your career and still protect your retirement. And again, this is a Makeup Live audio for Sunday, November the 4th, 2018. So, are you thinking about starting a business later in your career? The statistics, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. Statistics can be off putting. Some 20% of small businesses fail within their first year, according to the Small Business Administration, short for SBA, and only about a third survive 10 years or more. In most cases, that means you may be facing financial failure just as you're ready to stop working. So, first, let me just stop and say, hopefully, you can hear me live. If so, please comment. I must be getting tired because I'm really getting tongue tied with words. If you can hear me, just leave a little comment. If you're going to join me live, or if you're going to listen to the replay, make sure you let me know you can hear me. So I want to backtrack for a moment. When I was saying if you were thinking about starting a business in your late career, and I want to speak on that. So, what's the perfect age to start your career? It's not what you think, okay? According to a Stanford psychologist. Working full time from our early 20s to our mid 60s isn't such a great idea after all. I don't know about that, but let's see. So, how old were you when you started working full time? Chances are it was sometime in your early 20s or maybe your late 20s if, say, you went to a medical school. But that's all wrong, according to psychologists. Psychologist Lori, who is the director of the Stanford Center on Longevity. Instead, she argues we should all be beginning our full-time careers when we're about 40. You may find that shocking, especially in a society and on a website that idolizes the young and successful. The younger, the better. But psychologist Lori actually has some very good arguments for her point of view. And so let's see what they are. Number one, people wouldn't have to work their hardest when they're also raising small children. So in the current system, people get an entry-level job right after college or other training, usually when they're between 20 and 25. Until recently, that was also the age range during which they were most likely to be starting a family. So the average age to have a first child in the U.S. has been rising. It's now around 30 for men and around 28 for women. There are many reasons for this development, including the growing burden of student debt. But Another factor may be the long hours and intense dedication you often need to put in when starting out in a career. It's tough to make that work when you're doing 2 a.m. feedings. Even those who don't start having children till their early 30s should have those children in school by the time they're 40. And of course, I love feedback, and I just want to stop and say thank you, Instagram, for giving me feedback. They are beating you, Facebook people. But I do thank those that leave me feedback with Facebook and all of my other social medias as well. Number 2, there would be less burnout and frustration. In our current model, you never get a break. You never get to step out. You never get to refresh. We go at this unsustainable pace and then pull the plug, according to psychologist Laura, who told Courts. That system doesn't work, she says, because it fails to recognize all the other demands on our time or our dreams. So young people who haven't taken the time to do that, to see the world and try to figure out their place in it, are likely as not to embark on careers that aren't right for them. That's one explanation for the frequent phenomenon of people getting law degrees, but then choosing not to practice law. Taking some time to explore the world and figure out what kind of career is right for you increases the chances that you'll be happy with that career and want to stick to it. 3, it would accommodate longer lifespans. Women are living to an average age of 85 and men to the average age of 82. Given those demographics, retiring in your early 60s or even at the current full retirement age of 66 seems both unnecessary and possibly impractical, given how many years of retirement savings we'll need to last us. If you're going to work until you're 75, which is becoming less uncommon than starting at 40, will still give you the same 35-year career you would have if you started at 25 and retired at 60. It's worth nothing that your Social Security retirement benefits are calculated on your 35 highest earning years. Now, understand, let me just say that I know people love to work in their careers and work for corporate America and work all of these years and retire. Personally, myself, I'm not looking to retire from any corporate, nothing personal. We all have choices. My choice and goal is not to retire for corporate America. I want to retire now, and I'm not old. I want to retire now, and I want to work full time for myself, thus enjoying the benefits and everything else that goes with that. Because I also know with having your own businesses, having your business or businesses, that there are challenges and struggles that go along with that. But just knowing that I can be my own boss and have a better flexible schedule, I'm willing to take that chance. So, 4, it would eliminate the square wave, quote unquote. So social scientists refer to our current career paths as a square wave. You go from not working at all, or perhaps a part-time job in college or high school, to full-time employment. You do that for 40 years or so. And then when you retire, you stop as abruptly as you began. So moving forward, this would have several benefits for seniors, right? Maybe I should go back up. So in psychologists, Laura's model, instead of starting out full time, people in their 20s and 30s could continue their education for longer or work part time as an apprentice before reaching full time employment, which would be around 40, she says. Then, as they age, they could retreat from the workforce gradually, working part time or on a consulting basis in their late 60s and 70s and retiring fully at around 80. I have mixed feelings about this. So, this would have several benefits for seniors. They wouldn't have the abrupt drop in self worth that comes with having a job one day and not having it the next, or the common problem of not knowing what to do with their time. So, there are advantages too from the employer's viewpoint. So they say the current wave of baby boomer retirements has many worried about the institutional knowledge walking out the door with these departing seniors. Given that concern and the current labor shortage, many employers are inviting retirees to work on a consulting or part time basis for a few more years. So I want to stop right there because I really would like to get back. That's just given a brief. And I want to get back. I just want to give a little bit about that, which was pertaining about thinking about starting a business later in your career. So I want to read or I want to speak on if you're thinking about starting something new. And I'm going to be speaking, this is going to be based off of some examples from an individual or individuals who are in a later age. So number one would be know your numbers. If you're approaching or past age 50, check on your retirement readiness first. Vanguard Fidelity Investments, Kiplinger, and TIAA all offer web-based calculators that can give you a quick snapshot of your financial situation. So, Glink and her husband Sam, I told you this is based off of their experience, have been saving 20 to 25% of their income since they started working. So they have substantial 401k asset. They've largely paid off their home and they get regular income from rental properties. So they should have plenty of money to sustain current lifestyle. Have a plan. That's number 2. And you can use these references, thoughts, ideas from what I'm speaking on, either if you're working for corporate America and you're thinking about going into your own business, or you can kind of use these if you are already in a business, or whether it's you've been in it for a while, or if you're probably more new at being in a business for yourself. You don't have to use the whole model of it, but you can take some strategies or tips from it, hopefully. So number 2 would be have a plan. Number 1 was, again, know your numbers. Number 2, have a plan. So you don't necessarily need a formal business plan, the type required to get outside financing at the outset. But you do need a clear idea of what your product is, what it will cost to produce, why people would want to buy it, and whether they'd be willing to pay enough to make the business profitable in a reasonable period of time. You also need to know how you are going to support yourself and your business in the interim, which could last several years. And the 2 that I just spoke on, they do have a business. Okay. and they are, looking or have looked to stop working, I'm guessing, for corporate America, and they have started a business for themselves. So if you're expecting your company to create a financial windfall in the first year or two, you have to adjust your expectations. And this comment is coming from Ross Polkling, who is a lead advisor with the Foster Group, a Midwestern wealth management firm. You have to be ready to live off zero income for a couple of years. So I don't know how you feel about that, if you feel that this statement is accurate or not. Always, I love you guys' feedback. And number 3 would be ready to adapt. Even if you have a perfect business plan, expect that your numbers will change. So this is going back to Glink and her husband. So about a year ago, for example, Glink realized that her company needed more money to hire seasoned salespeople and develop its product. Adjusting to these realities is normal, but you need to keep close track of how quickly you're burning through cash and when you need to start replenishing it. And give yourself enough time to do so. Bank loans can take months to secure, and lining up venture capital can take even longer. So Glink started talking to angel investors. Make sure you look that up, guys. And eventually completed 2 rounds of outside funding. So she is running a company called Best Money Moves. And she says, if I didn't know what the best money moves were for us, what would they say about our business? So you just have to do research. At the end of this, as I was just kind of going all over the place with it, but hopefully you got the points that I was trying to make. At the end of the day, if you're considering opening up a business, especially with this pertaining to if you're 50 and above, or your late 40s and above, you're thinking about starting or opening up a business, you have to do your research. You have to do your due diligence. You have to get out here. You have to ask questions. You have to find out how you're going to not only get sales from your business, but if you're just starting out, what type of resources that you can use. And if you're coming from corporate America, if you're coming from corporate America into having your own business, whatever those 401k plans, those benefits that you may have received while working, perhaps, based on what that financial need was, maybe you can use that to fund your business. So I hope that was helpful some. Again, I was just kind of I was doing my best to pinpoint to certain things and use examples based off of what I was speaking on. People, I always say, do your research. That's very important, doing your research in anything. Business plans are helpful. I'm not going to say don't do a business plan. Business plans are helpful. Writing out strategies. Okay. Asking for help. Use these resources like Small Business Administration, which is short for SBA. Use SCORE. There's so many different resources out here that you can get a wealth of information. So thank you very much. This might be my last audio. I'm not too sure. But if it is, then I thank you very much for listening. I thank you very much for supporting. I would like to invite you to join all of my Facebook outlets. I am, of course, on Facebook Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I have a YouTube channel. You can find me under Aisha Speaks Jade for all of them. Aisha Speaks Jade. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and my YouTube channel, Aisha Speaks Jade. Make sure for my YouTube channel that you hit the thumbnail, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanking you in advance as all videos are uploaded. Like my pages, make it go viral, support, leave feedback, comments, ideas, experiences. Okay, it's all about positive, like-minded individuals. Okay, we can all help each other grow. Constructive criticism, constructive feedback, I welcome it. I just don't welcome disrespect. Make sure you take care of yourself. Self-care is a necessity, not a choice. Create your happiness. Create your greatness. Know your worth. Know your purpose. Work towards your passions and goals, dreams, visions, missions. Take care of the crown, the top of your head to the soles of your feet. I'm sending out light and love, positive vibes, awesome energy, much appreciation and gratitude, humbleness and thankfulness. Namaste and Ashe. And as always, be good to yourself. Good night.